Good morning and welcome back to the Adventures of Mac and Anthea and part 2 of our Northern Spain Adventures 2025. We're currently parked up in a lay-by about 1 kilometre outside the small village of San Emiliano. We've been here about 3 nights. I did 2 days editing actually part 1 of this series. We need to catch up with that and rest. It's not a bad park up, a little bit noisy at night than you'd expect to say. There's only sort of 2 or 3 pretty little villages up here. There's a bit more traffic at night than you'd expect, but nevertheless, you know, you can get a fairly decent night's sleep, you know, and no real bother here. So today there's going to be no messing. In this video we're going to jump straight into it. We're getting straight on with a bike ride right up into the mountains. It's going to be about 35.5 kilometres I think it is, and it's one I've sourced off Wikiloc. It promises to be quite demanding, so I'm going on my own. We're going to be taking Dangerous Brian with us today. Hopefully he's going to be up to the job because I'm pretty sure I'm not. So yeah, we're going to go along with it. The difficulty level is difficult. That's how it's marked on the trail. So I'm hoping that the bike's going to take up the slack that I'm not going to be able to provide. So I think without further ado, let's get straight on with it and I'll fill you in as we go along. And we're off. We're leaving the lay-by behind. We've got 1 kilometre up to the village and then we just turn off and we start on the trail. Now I got this off Wikiloc, which can be a bit hit and miss, you know. Some of them I've been on in the past and they're meant to be difficult. Well, they're difficult because you spend most of the time carrying the bike instead of the bike carrying you. That's how this isn't going to be one of those. I'll just point you quickly up there. That's where we're going up to, I think. That's it, matey. Have a conversation in the middle of the road. Okay, so I think this is our turning coming up here. We're going to go off to the right. Yeah. San Filipinos, that's where we're going. The first stop is going to be sort of a church, which I believe is called the e-MTB. Okay, and it looks like we've come to our first point of reference, which is the e-MTB. Quickly stop and just give you a quick look, best I can. This is it there. Yeah, so it looks like I'm on the right trail. Okay, so let's continue on. So, according to the map, I've studied the map on Wikiloc, and according to the map we go along this asphalt for a while, then we're going to bend off to the right, the asphalt, and we're going to take a left trail and a bit of sort of the gravelly part of it. Got to admit, a little bit apprehensive. On the new bike, which I just built, I'll talk about that later. Trail I don't know. I'm on my own as well, which isn't ideal, you know, it's potentially dangerous, especially some of the higher parts I'm going to. So it isn't ideal to go travelling out into the middle of nowhere. But I have WhatsApped the actual trail that I intend to take and everything to Anthea's WhatsApp, so she knows where to send the rescue services if I don't turn up. Told her up to 6 hours. Okay, yes, this is us, I think, here. Gotta be. Okay, let's go along here a while and I'm going to then check on the maps. I've studied the map, both on map and the actual one on Wikiloc. Also done sort of a 3D thing so I can get some idea of the terrain. Obviously you're not really sure about the surface until I actually get there, but all I can do really is stop every once in a while and check. This isn't the bit that we're likely to get lost. It's when we start to going over the single trails over the mountains that, yeah, things are probably like to get a bit dodgy. Yeah, so this is quite rough and rocky, this trail. Wouldn't have been much fun on my touring bike Dutch. It's got, you know, minimum front suspension plate. It's only really there to take the bumps out the you know, gravel tracks and roads. Anthea's bike would have been alright on this, but Anthea probably wouldn't have done. She wouldn't have found this enjoyable. Well, the scenery certainly doesn't disappoint. Look at that. So we're still on the single trail. This is sort of a loop with a tail, this trail. And this is the tail part, so we'll be returning this way on the way back, so it's worth bearing in mind it's really hard going at the start of the road, but it isn't particularly. You know, we're going to have this at the end of the road when I'm tired. As I said several times, 35 kilometres. I've designed this bike for the more technical trails with a range of 20 kilometres, so we've got quite a shortfall there, but you know, I've left a good margin in there. You know, I've got a reputation for over-engineering stuff, so hopefully that's going to pull us through. And of course, a large proportion of this on the way back is going to be downhill, so we've got that as well, so we probably won't be using the motor at all. Okay, start to level out a bit, a lot smoother, so a little bit more enjoyable. Packed as light as I possibly can today. The nature of the beast really, I suppose, on this bike, but I've got the inevitable camera equipment. I've just bought the camera, spare batteries. I bought the smaller drone Neo along with us, any spare batteries. So minimal camera equipment. I bought the tool bag obviously, normal things, spare inner tube, tools to tighten things up, and I've also added in the chain splitter just in case I break a chain. At least I can take a few links and join it back together. So hopefully that's all I need. The most of the weight I've got obviously is water. I'm not prepared to sacrifice safety with water to save weight. I'd rather just carry the extra weight in the water, and obviously as we go along that will go down. Eat a little bit more fast again and loose. So yeah, not carrying a huge amount of weight, but I can feel it on my back, that's for sure. Normally when I've got the touring bike, you know, we've got the racks on and we pack it all right up to the chairs and everything, you know, because, you know, the bikes can take it, they're built for it. I think we've run out of water up here, so, you know, it's not going to be a big problem. But I haven't got no water filters with me, so I'd have to be really careful where I pick the source of. Remember in the Dartmoor in the past, stopping and boiling water up and everything to drink, and then going a bit further upstream and seeing a dead sheep in it. So you're never sure, even if it is, yeah, it's nice clear mountain water. Yeah, it's as clean as whatever's died in the, you know, in the actual channel on the way down. Anyway, this is really nice. Look at this, apart from the pylons. But yeah, nice smooth trail. Really quite enjoyable. What I'm looking out for is sort of some sort of agricultural building, old agricultural building, and from there it sort of veers off to the left behind the building, and I think that's when it turns to single trail. But I'm not sure. It's certainly not going to be shouldn't be as prominent a trail as this. Okay, so we're climbing well. Bike's doing it easy. It's just a case of conserving as much battery as you can. I've got it in a pretty low gear, so I'm in number 2 or 3. I don't see the point in going too low. I'm one of these people, if I'm pedaling like mad because I'm in such a low gear and not really getting anywhere, what's the point? You know, if it's slower than walking, get off and walk. That's how I do it anyway. But yeah, as usual, as I've said many times before, you got no comprehension of the steepness of this trail on camera. I'm going to say we're going 30-35% at a guess, and as you can probably see, it's rough underfoot. Okay, so we've been rewarded for our scramble up that rock face with a little smooth bit along here. I haven't seen anybody for quite some time now. There's quite a few walkers to start with, but we're well past the point where the TikTok and the Instagram posers have gone, took their selfies and then turned back, jumped in the car to their next Instagram moment. Yeah, we're way out of it now, and you've probably only got the serious people who really want to hike and bike out here. Okay, a little stream, let's take it carefully through here. There we go. And now we've got another rocky climb. And we're back over the little stream again. Which is a shame, because I've only just got rid of the squeak when I went through the last one from the front end. No, it's not back this time. Okay. Still really gnarly this. We've got a little smooth bit. Yeah, look at this. Brilliant. Lovely. So I reckon that's the first little bit of a climb now. You can see, lovely little top meadow bit. Couple of horse with a foal over there. Yeah, really quite lovely. Well, there's plenty going on up here. The building I saw, which I think we turned up is actually a farm building. There's cows in the distance, and I'm seeing some cross-country runners here. There's another cyclist coming this way, and I can actually see people going up, I think the trail behind, or maybe they're just herding cows. So I think we'll hold back. We'll have a bit of a drink of water and let them get out of the way, because I think that trail they're coming down is the trail we want to go up. Okay, I think what we do is we're going to actually get up to this building here. Got the cows coming in, it might be interesting to watch. Big dog there. They're normally quite placid, the mastiffs and Pyrenees and mountain dogs. Providing you don't mastiff with the livestock, because obviously that's their job, so it's a good idea to give the livestock a wide berth while they're about. So I think we're going to take a left in a minute. And I think we're this left here. So I think we're going to get a little way up, out of the commotion, and then we'll have a little rest, little drink break. Yeah, this looks hard. Hello. Hello. So we stopped for a break. I think there's a tiny little bit of shade here. This is really quite rocky and messy. There's parts that the guy who did this trail is described as pushing, and I don't think this was one of them, so it's making me wonder how rough the bit he says where you have to push, you know, it is. We'll have to wait and see, but we'll continue on with it a bit longer. So currently pushing a little bit further, just a bit too rocky, just too much hard work. Okay, look what we've got here. Little lagoon. That was marked from what I memorised on the route. And this is looking a bit better here as well, so it needs to be time to get back on in a minute. Dodging the mines out here. Freshly laid cow mines. Oh God, look at that up ahead. We've got to climb ahead of us. Okay, as long as the ground stays smooth, we should be okay. Okay, looks like we've got some nice pasture. So upset the horses too much. There they go, look at them. Lovely, that was worth the effort, look. Lovely bit of pasture. Okay, let's hope we've got this for a bit. I can see a lot of walkers up ahead. Let's hope the trail stays fairly defined, because at the minute we're okay, but soon I think we've got a chance we could lose it. Bernard. Hola. Hola. Alright, quite a climb again. Let's hope this trail's going to stay defined and we can see where we're going. Hey, that's quite steep. So I'm going to keep the front end on the ground. How are we? Okay, let's see. Yeah, I think we're still going off round here to the left. Some sort of trail here. If we get a bit higher, I might try the Wikiloc app. See if we can pick up some cell. There's another little trail off around to the right here, but this looks a more defined one. So this is the point where we start getting into trouble. Yeah. Okay, so we're at the top of that bend. I still think I'm inclined to follow this trail here. I can't help feeling it sort of goes round the back of this mountain we can see in front. I'm going by memory now. But I think I'll just get up to that slight raise just in the distance there, and then we'll have a little go with the app again. This is really nice. Okay, I can see some hikers in the distance going in my general direction, so hopefully it's a recognised trail. Right, buddy, I'm afraid I have to come in behind you there. Yeah, let's get out of the way over here. Okay, those hikers just kind of around the corner, so maybe they're going the same route we are. Okay, I see hikers going up there. It looks a bit of a plat. That could be the rocky bit the guy was on, saying you might have to walk up. I'm in two minds what to do. I can't get Wikilocs up, and that looks pretty rocky and demanding over there. But what I've seen this trail over here to my right, which looks a lot better. It sort of goes, I don't know if I can do it with my finger, but it sort of goes up here and round and then up, sort of through that gap there. I may go and give that one a look, because obviously we've come from that direction, and this sort of hamlet up there is sort of in that direction, so it could take us around that way. So I think we're going to have a quick look up there. Okay, so I've managed to get some connection, have a quick look, and I think this the rocky route ahead, walking route, which I've just tracked this hiker, see probably walking away in the background there. He says it's sort of hands and knees going up there. So, but he has also said that this sort of one in the background here is going straight up, and it'll still take us to that little village. So I think we're going to take that, take that route instead. I mean, what's the point of carrying the bike, when you're going on the bike ride? So yeah, let's go up that one and get to the top and see what we can see. So we're on the move again, and we're going to try this route. This is the hiker I booked he's just recommended, and it makes more sense. Yeah, it's still rocky. Let's try off to our sides here. And these little trails and see if that's any better. Okay, puffing now, just off for a quick break. It's turned to stone. It makes me believe maybe this is the proper route after all, because it's definitely get off and push. If you see here, you're not riding up that, no one is. So yeah, we probably are on the correct route after all. But yeah, I'm really starting to puff. Okay, a little break and we'll carry on. So we just come up from there. That rocky bit was just a little way down there around the corner. Just thought we were going to get a nice smooth bit now from now on, but now we've got another rocky bit ahead and a bit more of a climb, I'm afraid. Starting to puff a bit, so I had to have a break. had a can of pop and a sandwich in that little bit of shade there. But I think we're going to have to start moving along because I suspect we probably haven't even done 10 kilometres yet, and we've got 35 to do. So yeah, we best get on with it. Okay, so we're up through those rocks through that side, and it's starting to look a bit better up there. So hopefully that's going to be the rocky bit for a while, dare I say it. Dare I hope. But yeah, I'm really starting to flag, so hopefully we're going to be able to ride for a while. So we've got a bit of a fence here. I think I'm going to hop this. I think this is definitely the route across here. It looks the smoothest route anyway, and it looks like it's going in the right direction. Okay, so this is a bit better. Let's hope it isn't going to do what's happened to me in the past, in previous videos, where I thought, oh, this is great, we're going across the pasture here, and then you just end up right in the middle of the nowhere, right on top of a mountain, and the only way down is the way you've just come up. That's happened before. Okay, so we're coming towards the top bit. What we got down the other side then? And we dropped another battery bar. So as feared, we've come to the end of sort of that track as it's petered up to nothing, and yeah, we're in the middle of nowhere, right on top of a mountain. I can see some roads below down there. I suspect those villages over there are where we're meant to be heading to. There's a road coming down. But we're getting low on battery, we're down to 3 bars and I'm not sure what to do. We might have to go back to that wire, and if there's a track that takes us over the top there, maybe, and then down, but I'm not sure how far, how much further I want to commit, and then risk not having enough battery to get back. Okay, so we missed a turn. We came up from from behind here, and I shot off straight up there, and I should have took this turn here. Now, I've just gone to Wikiloc app and it's working. It says we're on the trail. I have got some subscription left, which I didn't realise I had, so I've started it off to, to give me notifications as I go around the trail, although that can be a bit confusing and annoying. And what I'm going to do is we're on 3 bars of battery, and I don't want to push it too far, so I think we'll go until we're on 2 bars. If it looks like we're going to start going back downhill again, and let's face it, look at it, it's not like we're going to be going much higher. It looks like, if it doesn't look like we're going back downhill, we're going to have to replace our steps. But if it looks like we're going downhill, then we'll carry on, and we'll bite the bullet and see if we can make it back down and do the full trail. The only good thing now, I finally have managed to get on touch with the trail, is I'm further along it than I thought I was, so we're not doing bad. Let's carry on and see how we get on. Okay, well, we're through that rocky bit. I'm very reluctant to go back because I know, round it at some point we're going to hit trail again. I don't fancy going through all that rocky crap again and going back on myself and failing. And then, it just being around the corner of the trail, but it's starting to look better. I'll just spin you around. I'm hoping it's going to go around to the right, but I think it's probably going to go over to the left and over in that direction. I'm going to try and connect up to a map in a minute. The map is actually showing a trail, and we're probably, a couple of kilometres away from that. So yeah, I don't know. I'm going to try and get some sense out of the map again, see if I can get some reception, and then just have to take it from there. But I don't think there's any turning back now. Okay, so we've got an arrow down that rock. I don't know if it means up to that sort of peak there seems to be a trail, or down into the valley there a little bit. I think I'm going to go down to the valley a little way. It seems where it's pointing, and follow it round to the right and see how we go. Oh, we seem to have a bit of a trail here. Is it the right one? Well, it's certainly beautiful. If I weren't so exhausted, I could probably enjoy it. So I don't know if you're seeing that, but there's the blue dot. We actually position where we are, and we're heading for this green thing here. You can see we start to get a real road, so we don't look far away. It looks like it's probably just over that slope over there. So I'm glad we stuck with it. Let's just hope we're going to pick up a nice trail now. Oh, another thing I've also noticed around here, got a guy over there. I can hear voices all up over there. I can hear guys over there. So obviously we're quite close to civilization, and people have walked in from the other end, because I haven't seen any people for a long time. So it's not actually, for somebody who doesn't particularly like people much, I'm quite glad that I'm seeing people again. It lets me know I'm getting near to civilization and not stuck in the middle of nowhere. Okay, so quick rest, quick drink, and I think we're going to continue on up this way, because I don't think this guy's 100% sure where he's going either. Okay, just had a nice little ride across that bit of grass for a little while, just up sort of round that sort of V round there. It was rocky and bloody horrible again, so we've made it, and I think I'm almost showing on the map that we're at the start of the trail, the actual wide, sort of, two-lane trail. We've got this gate here, and it's showing me like a few metres, you know, away from the point I am now, so I'm suspecting it's straight on and just down around the corner. So let's go and have a look at that. Okay, hope you can see that. We're just going to take this trail down there, and it looks like it's a building with some civilization at the bottom. So we're not meant to be too far off this 2-lane trail. So let's keep going down here. This is, well, sketchy, but yeah, I can't see the trail yet, so I'm just going to take my time down here. I'm certainly not going to ride my bike down it. So if you can see that rock up the top there just sticking up on this horizon there, that's where we've come down from, and it's all a forest trail like this. The guy who did this trail describes it as a technical trail. I don't know, you know, I'm not a great cyclist myself, you know, but I can't see how that is even at all possible to come down on a bicycle. I had a little go with it on some parts of it, and I was just skiing down. Both wheels were locked up, and it was so loose or so smooth and so steep that I was just skiing straight down it. There was no way around it, you know, and we've still got to go quite a bit further down that way there, but it starts to level out a bit. So where that guy is there, you can see in distance, I'll have a go from there, but this is just stupid steep, and I just don't see how it's possible. I think what they do, I don't know if these guys, you know, if they who put these trails on, whether they actually go out and enjoy it or whether they're just trying to impress somebody, you know. But I'll tell you now, the bits they say are technical trails on this bit, they didn't ride this, and they didn't ride up most of the stuff I had to lug the bike up as well, because it's just large boulders in the way. There was no even way to pick between them, you know. So yeah, I think there's a lot of young pretenders out there on that app, and I think probably I won't be doing the what is classed as difficult on these on the Wikiloc app again, because, you know, and I think difficult, I think, oh, well, it's steep, but it's actually passable by bicycles. It's listed as bicycle, but that doesn't mean that at all. When it says difficult, it means you're going to spend most of your time pushing or carrying the bike round. But anyway, enough of my little moan there. I think I'm entitled to that after all that. Let's follow that guy down there. Looks like we're going down. That's a bar down there. I went to bring some money and I bloody forgot. Anyway, yeah, I'm going to go down there and we'll have a little rest down there. Okay, I'll stick an arrow in or zoom it in later in editing, but you just about see that rock which I pointed out to you earlier. We're down at the bottom now. Came all the way round there. I don't even see those hikers there coming all the way down there. Absolutely horrible. It's all soft sand on the foot. You'll be all right, you know, with my hiking boots, which I haven't got on today. These boots are a bit smooth and I'm sliding around. So anyway, it looks like I do get to ride my bicycle now. Down to the bar. I'm not even going to pretend that I tried to do it. I did it all the way down from the top. And then apparently we've got road. Nice guy back there offered to help me down with my bike, but I thought, no, I got myself in this mess, I'll sort it out myself. Nice thing to offer though. Okay, and we're back onto horrible rocky stuff again. It's been very much the theme of this trail, you know, it gives you a little bit of fun and gives you a little bit, and then you go around the corner, it takes it all the way again and then some. So yeah, we're scrambling down rocks again, but we're not far off the trail. I think I can see it just in the distance. Okay, it's starting to get a bit better. It's still horrible, but it's yeah, it's what I would call a technical trail. And that, dare I say it, I think is it. And so that horrible rocky stuff's just come through there, and I think we're going to go down this trail around the corner over that trail you can just see in the distance. So that's going to take us down to, can't remember what the place is called, Alto something. So we're going to go down to that, and hopefully it's going to be trail, gravel trail and road all the way back to the motorhome. And so I finally made it down to Torrija de Arriba. Very small village, couldn't even call it that really. It's a hamlet, got a little bar there. We came down, I'm not even going to try, well, we'll try actually, sort of up there, that little rock I kept on pointing to is just at the very top there. That trail was horrendous. Even for hiking, that would have been horrendous. I mean, you know, and not particularly enjoyable, but yeah, hard work, and it'd give me something and then it'd take it away. But I'm thinking we're taking this road down here and we're going to have a nice bit of asphalt for a while, and it's all going to be downhill, I've got 2 bars of battery left. Okay, we're leaving the village. Couldn't get Google Maps to work because we've got no reception. But I sort of just given up on following the trail anyway. There's only really one road as far as I can see in and out of this village, so not a difficult choice to make. So we're on our way down. Not got much battery, but I don't think we're going to need it, hopefully. Okay, just past the junction there. 2 roads, but no signs, so I don't know. I think we're just going to keep going down. To Ether we went to, Alto. Hopefully we should come down at to Ether Bajol. Which could be what this is. Okay, and I suspected this is to Ether Bajol, but it's written in, not in Spanish. Great roads, these really bending back on each other. Tight bends, the sort of thing you'd expect to see in the Alpines or something like that. Big round loops and then back on yourself again. Here we go. And the same again. Yeah, now this is about the first best fun I've had today. Yeah, brilliant. I just hope it's good fun in the right direction. Yo, come on, your side of the road, boss. Okay, so I've stopped again, I'm in a mess. We came down from there and I went shooting off down there, thinking, you know, natural logic, we want to be going downhill. Got quite a way down there and I thought I'd check the map, managed to get the map working and going completely in the wrong direction. I should have took this road up here. So I've just come back up here, burnt what battery I'd left up on trying to get back up. So now we're completely out of battery and quite a way away, probably 10 kilometres away from getting back. So yeah, I think what we're going to do is just take it careful. I'm fairly sure this road is right now. I'm looking on Google Maps and take us back to where we want to go. So yeah, it's a case of just pushing uphill and rolling downhill, and hopefully most of them are going to be downhill from here. All I can do is keep going. So you can't get an idea of the incline, but I'm pushing the bike up there. I'll have to have a rest about every 100 metres. That's the road below that I want whizzing off down. Right down there. Wasted the last 2 bars of my battery on. We've got still got to climb up there. I'm hoping we get around that bend. It's we're going to start going downhill and it's not another climb, but who knows at this stage of the game. Okay, keep going. Welcome back. It's the following afternoon and we've moved location. I'll come back to that in a minute. So the bicycle ride, what happened? What didn't happen? Christ, yeah, what happened? I left you and lost you sort of as I was making that climb up that road, trying to make it up to the top. I got a bit further up, quite a way further up, and I come to a bend and I managed to get cell reception. I used that time to phone Anfield, let her know I was still alive, and even though things weren't going well, you know, it wasn't a disaster. From then on, I consulted Google Maps. We had another 8 kilometres to go up that all the way uphill. And according to Google Maps, it's going to take me 2 hours 15 minutes. I just didn't have that in me, you know. I was spent, the battery was spent on poor old Brian, so he wasn't going to take me up there. So we had to sort of think of something what to do. So I turned back round. I thought I'll go back down into civilization and see if there's any taxis or anything like that, you know. So I got down, lower down. First house I came to, there's a guy unloading a van. I asked him about, you know, getting back to San Emiliano, and he says no, it's a roadway. He says it's 60 kilometres round by road. He says, and the track back, which is obviously the track I'd taken out, was only passable by 4-wheel drive. But what he did agree to do, rather nice of him and saved my life really, was put my bike in the back of his van and take me right up to the top. So he took me all the way right up to the top, and it was even worse when I went up it than when I saw it from below. You know, it was winding all the way round, it was steep all the way up. I thought, God, I'm glad I didn't have to go through that. He took me right up to the point at the top, and then he thought, well, I'll take you to the end of the asphalt, so he took me down the next bit as well. And as he come to the end of that, I recognised where I was. I was at that farm where all the cows were being herded into the corral and that at the start, and there was an instant wave of relief came over me because I still had a lot of uncertainty up until that point of what route I was going to take back. I knew where I was and I knew exactly what I had to do to finish. So anyway, he dropped me off. I thanked him. Unfortunately, I didn't have any money to even pay him any diesel because I went out without any cash. And I'm on my way back. Now, that left me with 9 kilometres to do back to Hobbit, but it was almost all downhill. So yeah, it wasn't so bad. I sort of rolled most of the way and pedalled, and after having a little bit of a rest, you know, in the van and that going up and out, I sort of got a bit of a second wind again and I was okay. So that was the end of that. Now, what I did take away from that again, and what we're talking to Anthony about, this has happened fairly regular, where we've got out into the middle of nowhere, we've got no cell reception, got no map, and we've got lost. You know, there have been difficult trails that we've got lost, so we both agreed we're going to have to invest in sort of a Garmin GPS system and put the actual route onto there to start with. It's happened too many times now, and I think probably if I haven't made that wrong turn halfway up the trail and sort of gone off to the mountaintop and then hadn't gone all the way down that hill, spent, you know, on 2 bars and then had to ride all the way back up again and use a battery, I probably would have made it to the top of that point there at the top of that hill, and I would have easily made it down the other side, because I did most of it anyway. So yeah, it would have saved battery, and it would have saved, you know, a lot of energy if I'd had a decent navigation system for walking and biking. So the other takeaway from this is the Wikiloc app. It's the second time I've used a difficult trail, and I think for any of you guys out there, and this is only my opinion, a difficult bicycle trail translates to a difficult hiking trail that you are not going to be able to negotiate with your bike, and you're going to end up pushing and carrying the bike over. That's happened to me twice now, and to be honest with you, you know, for me, when you spend that much amount of time actually carrying and pushing a bike over something which is basically impassable, not just for me, but for an expert just couldn't get through that, you know, it's just impossible. You know, all you're doing is spoiling a good hike. You know, I enjoy hiking as well, so I think in the future, you know, that would have been a great hike. That would have been, if, you know, a bit shorter, mind you. It would have been a lovely hike, but it was horrendous for a bike ride, and you know, it wasn't particularly enjoyable. Now, I don't regret doing it. I think it's quite an accomplishment. You know, I'm 56 years old. The next day I've got no aches or pains, you know, and I feel pretty well, you know, pretty good. So yeah, I'm quite impressed with that, and I'm glad I actually did it, because it was an achievement. Knowing what I know now, would I do it again? Definitely not. I would never have gone over there if I'd known what I know now, and I certainly wouldn't do it again. I would do a shorter route, maybe hiking with somebody, say like Mike, who I did quite a few hikes with over that bit, but I wouldn't do that again, and certainly not on a bicycle. Okay then, so where are we now? So we've travelled about another 15 kilometres and about another 500-600 metres higher up. Considerably cooler up here, it's, even though it doesn't feel it with the sun in the motorhome. But yeah, it's meant to be only 20 degrees up here, where it's about 30 degrees down below. So yeah, considerably cooler. In a bit, what we're going to do is go around the corner. There's meant to be a fuente, an actual spring, and there's meant to be a bit of parking opposite that, and see if there's many people parked there, and fill up our water. And so we come to the end of part 2 of our Northern Spain adventure 2025. All that remains is to thank you for watching. Please hit that like and subscribe button so you don't miss part 3, and I'll see you all next time.